You've been lied to about motivation. We're told that motivation is the necessary ingredient you need before you can start moving towards your goals. That if you just wait for the right feeling, watch the right YouTube video, read the right book, then that bolt of inspiration will finally come, and you'll magically get up and do the thing that you've been dreaming about. But what if that's not true? What if motivation is a myth? And what you need to get started is something you already have. Let's be honest. You want to create something meaningful, whether it's a work of art, a business, a life that feels more aligned with who you are. But most days, you find yourself sitting on the sofa, scrolling, waiting for that surge of energy to finally move you. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're just waiting for something that will never come. Here's the paradox. Motivation doesn't come before action, it comes after. This is the myth of motivation. We've all been sold the same story. First you get motivated, then you take action, then you succeed. But in reality, it works the other way around. Action comes first, then motivation comes as a byproduct of that action. Therefore, progress, however tiny, creates the energy you need to keep going. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly motivated to do something hard before you started? Usually, it's only after you've begun, after you've made a little progress, after you've stacked a few small wins, that you start to feel that spark. Writing those first few words is the hardest part, but once you're moving, momentum builds and it's easier to keep going. If you wait for motivation to strike, you'll wait forever. Watching motivational videos might give you a quick hit, but it fades. Fantasizing about your dream life feels good for a moment, but it doesn't move you towards your goal. Telling yourself that you need to find your why before you start just adds more pressure. The truth is, you don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel inspired. You just need to begin. So, if motivation isn't the answer, what is? One word: intention. But not just any intention. There are two kinds, inner and outer. Inner intention is the quiet decision to act. It's the part of you that says, I'm going to do this, and then takes the first step, no matter how small. It's not about forcing or hustling, it's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's the artist opening the sketchbook, the writer putting the pen to paper, the entrepreneur sending that first email. Inner intention is the spark of will. It's the craftsman's hand, steady and deliberate, shaping the raw material of the day. Our ability to choose, to set our intention, make a decision, and take action on that decision is what differentiates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. But we can't just brute force our way to results. We need to align our thoughts with our outer intention. You see, outer intention is different. It's the art of letting go and allowing the world to meet you halfway. It's trusting that when you set your aim, take action, life will respond. It's the sense that you're not alone in this, that there's a current and flow to life that you can ride if you're willing to move with it. Outer intention is about detachment and not being obsessed with the outcome. You have the goal in mind, but you have no preference for how the goal will manifest. You allow the world to come to you, because if you grip too tightly to the outcome, you will choke the process. Imagine ordering a coffee. You walk up to the counter and ask what you want, and you just trust that it will be made. You don't agonize over whether the barista will get it right. You simply act, let go, and receive. Big goals can be approached in the same way. Set your intention, take your step, and let the universe do its part. There's a dance between doing and allowing. Success isn't about grinding or waiting for miracles. It's about the dance between inner and outer intention. With inner intention, you act, you show up, you do the work. With outer intention, you release attachment, you trust, and you allow things to unfold. If you only act, you burn out. If you only wait, you stagnate. The magic is in the balance. And here's the secret. Process is everything. Set your goals, yes, but then forget about them. Focus on the process, the daily practice, the small steps, the craft itself. What can you do today? What's the next right action? How can you make this moment a little bit better than the last? Trust the process, because if you can make one piece of art, you can make another. If you can write one page, you can write two. Progress is built one small, imperfect step at a time. Small wins matter. Motivation comes from success, not the other way around. Every time you finish a sketch, Write a paragraph, send an email. You're stacking small wins. Each win gives you a little hit of dopamine, a little more energy to keep going. So you should celebrate those wins. Pat yourself on the back, then go again. This is how you build momentum. The truth is, most people confuse motivation with persistence. They think motivation is what keeps you going, but the truth is, you won't feel motivated every day. Persistence is showing up even when you don't want to. It's honoring your intention, not your mood. This is where real growth happens. And I know this is way easier said than done, so cut yourself some slack when you're not able to make progress. Take a deep breath and start again. And whatever you do, don't allow yourself to fall into a negative thought spiral and at worst give up, because the muse is waiting for you to start. There's a funny analogy in Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, that I absolutely love. She is talking about the tormented artist and the muse. We imagine the muse as this magical force that descends from the heavens bestowing inspiration, and that we need her to visit before we can start to work. But Elizabeth paints a much more accurate and amusing picture. She says, "I've always had the sense that the muse of the tormented artist, while the artist himself is throwing temper tantrums, is sitting quietly in the corner of the studio, buffering its fingernails, waiting patiently for the guy to calm down and sober up so everyone can get back to work." And that's really the reality. The muse isn't coming to rescue you. She's waiting for you to get to work. When you do, she joins you. So you have to trust the process. To trust the process, you have to let go of the outcome. Don't cling to your goal. Don't make it so important that you paralyze yourself with fear. Because between where you are and where you want to be, there are infinite possibilities. You can't control them all. So be willing to fail. Be willing to be a beginner. Because when you're no longer terrified of losing, you're free to move. Often, the bigger the goal, the more overwhelming it is. And that's why you need to break it down into a plan that you can follow. What's the smallest step you can take today? How can you make the process so simple you can't help but start? If you want to be a successful artist, don't focus on fame and followers. Focus on making one piece of art, then another, then another. If you want to grow a business, focus on the next email, the next video, the next conversation. Progress is built in the micro moments. And the truth is, you won't always feel excited. Sometimes you'll feel bored, anxious, or resistant, and that's normal. The key is to act anyway. Action reduces stress, it creates movement, and it breaks the spell of inertia. Ask yourself, what can I offer today? How can I practice my craft, even if it's just for a few minutes? Adopt a craftsman's mindset. Pursue mastery through deliberate effort. Stack your small wins and enjoy the process. Don't beat yourself up. Remember, you're not a machine. You don't have to be perfect. There will always be more to do. There will always be unfinished projects. So be gentle with yourself. Do what you can today and let tomorrow take care of itself. The answer isn't finding motivation. It's about focusing on what you want instead of what you don't. When you want to create, but you're weighed down by the fear, uncertainty, or the pressure to succeed, you're focused on the wrong things. Instead of running away from life, you want to move towards the life that you want. That's why you need to take control of your self-image. Outer intention is about taking control of your self-image. Don't focus on what you don't want. Don't run away from your current situation. Instead, focus on what you do want. Move towards your desires, not away from your fears. There's an intrinsic motivation that comes from wanting something for its own sake. Let your curiosity lead you. Feed it. Let it grow into passion and commit to continued improvement. This is the path of the mindful creator. It's not always easy, but it's real. It's honest. And it's your truth. Stop waiting for motivation and start moving with intention. Let go of the outcome and fall in love with the process. Trust that every small step, every perfect inaction is enough. All you have to do is begin. If you're still worried about taking that next step, watch my video about why failure is essential for your creative development. Subscribe and consider joining our community of other mindful creators by clicking the link below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.